My beloved child, if this message has appeared before you today, it is not by accident. There's a reason your eyes are reading these words right now. I have guided you here because the world is standing at a moment of great uncertainty. Look around you. The nations are trembling. Leaders are speaking words that carry the weight of war. In the Middle East, a land filled with ancient history and deep spiritual meaning, is once again surrounded by tension and conflict. My child, do not ignore what is happening. Many people believe these are only political events, but there is a deeper spiritual battle unfolding that many cannot yet see. I see the fear rising in people's hearts. I see the confusion spreading across nations. I see families wondering what tomorrow will bring. And I want you to know something very important. Even when the world feels like it is moving toward chaos, my presence has not left this earth. I'm still watching. I'm still guiding. And I'm still calling my children back to faith. America, listen carefully. You have been blessed with great influence and great responsibility. But with great blessings also come great choices. Many hearts in your nation have grown distant from truth. Many have forgotten the power of prayer. Many have allowed fear, anger, and division to grow stronger than love. And when a nation forgets its spiritual foundation, the consequences begin to appear slowly, like distant thunder before a storm. The conflict rising in the Middle East is not only about land or politics. It is a warning sign, a signal that the world is entering a season where faith will be tested. My child, the coming months will bring moments that will shake many people. News reports will speak of tensions increasing. You will hear discussions about alliances, weapons, and power. Some voices will call for peace. Others will call for confrontation. And millions will watch, wondering if a greater war could unfold. But listen carefully to my words. Fear is not the path I want my children to walk. Even in times of global uncertainty, faith can become a light that shines brighter than darkness. That is why I'm speaking to you today, because there are still people who are willing to listen, people whose hearts are open, people who understand that the world needs prayer now more than ever. My child, before the storm grows stronger, I want you to remember something. History has always moved in cycles of struggle and renewal. Wars have risen before. Empires have fallen before. But through every generation, those who trusted in faith were never abandoned. The same truth remains today. Even if the world grows louder with fear, my voice is still speaking quietly to those who seek it. And today, you are one of those people. But I must also tell you something serious. The choices made by nations in the coming years will shape the future of millions. Leaders will stand at crossroads where decisions can either calm the fire or make it grow stronger. And this is why prayer matters more than many people realize. Because when hearts turn toward faith, wisdom can begin to guide decisions. My child, the Middle East has always been a place where history and prophecy seem to meet. Generations have watched this region with concern and curiosity. And once again, the eyes of the world are turning toward it. But do not allow fear to control your spirit. Instead, allow this moment to awaken something deeper within you. A reminder that peace does not begin with governments. Peace begins inside human hearts. And when enough hearts choose compassion, humility, and prayer, even the direction of history can change. So today I ask you something simple: do not ignore this moment. Do not become numb to the suffering and tension you see around the world. Instead, become someone who brings light into the darkness. Pray for wisdom. Pray for peace. Pray for the leaders making decisions that affect millions. Because every sincere prayer has power beyond what human eyes can see. And my child, there is more that I must reveal about what may come next. But before I continue, I want to know something. Are you willing to listen with an open heart? because the message that follows is even more important. My child, if you're still here listening, it means something inside your heart is searching for truth. And today I must speak to you honestly. The world you see today is changing faster than many people expected. Conflicts are rising. Trust between nations is weakening. And many leaders are making decisions driven by fear, pressure, and power. The tension growing in the Middle East is not something small. It is a spark that the entire world is watching carefully. Some will say it is only politics. Others will say it is only temporary. But history has shown something very clearly. When tensions rise in this region, the consequences often reach far beyond its borders. America, listen carefully. You are a nation with enormous influence over global decisions. The choices made by your leaders, the alliances you support, the actions taken in moments of crisis. These things do not only affect your own people. They echo across the entire world. And that is why this moment carries such great weight. My child, many people are asking the same question right now. Could a larger war come from this conflict? Could nations be pulled into something much bigger? These questions are being whispered in homes, offices, and government buildings around the world. But I want you to understand something deeper. War is never only about armies. War begins when pride becomes stronger than wisdom, when anger becomes louder than compassion, when leaders forget the value of human life. And sadly, these are patterns that have appeared many times in history. But there is still time for hearts to change direction. My child, there are powerful forces in the world pushing toward confrontation. Voices that believe strength is shown through domination. Voices that believe peace can only come through overwhelming power. But true peace has never come from fear. True peace comes from humility and wisdom. And that is why I'm calling my children to wake up spiritually. Because when people forget faith, they begin to trust only in weapons, strategies, and power. And that path always leads to suffering. Look at the history of the world. Every war promised victory. Every war promised security. Yet every war left behind broken families, lost lives, and generations of pain. My child, the rising tension in the Middle East is a moment where humanity stands at another crossroads. Leaders will make choices. Nations will choose sides. And the world will watch closely as events unfold. But I want you to remember something very important. Even when governments move in one direction, the prayers of millions can still influence the future. Never underestimate the power of faith. Never believe that your voice, your prayers, or your compassion are too small. Because throughout history, moments of crisis have also been moments when people rediscovered their faith. And that is exactly what the world needs right now. America, you have been a nation where faith once stood at the center of many hearts. But over time, many people became distracted. Some forgot to pray. Some forgot the importance of humility. Some began trusting only in power and wealth. And when a nation slowly drifts away from its spiritual foundation, confusion and division begin to grow. But my child, it is not too late. Nations can change direction. Hearts can return to faith. And wisdom can still guide leaders toward peace. But this requires something very important. People must wake up. They must stop ignoring the spiritual side of what is happening in the world. Because behind every major moment in history, there is always a deeper battle between fear and faith. And right now, that battle is growing stronger. That is why this message found you today. Because there are still people willing to listen, still people willing to pray, still people willing to bring light into dark moments. And you, my child, may be one of those people. But there is something else you must understand. The coming years will test the strength of many people's faith. You will see events that cause fear. You will hear predictions that create anxiety. You will watch leaders make decisions that confuse many hearts. But remember this truth. Those who walk with faith will not be controlled by fear, because faith gives strength even when the future is uncertain. And that strength will be needed in the days ahead. My child, there is still more I must tell you about what lies ahead for the world and for America. But first I ask you something simple. Will you choose fear, or will you choose faith? Because the answer to that question will shape not only your future, but the future of many around you. My child, if you have stayed with this message until now, it means something inside your heart is paying attention. And that matters more than you realize. Because the world is entering a time where many voices will compete for your attention. Some voices will spread fear. Some voices will spread anger. Some will try to convince you that everything is hopeless. But listen carefully to me. Hopelessness has never been the truth. Even in the darkest moments of human history, light has always found a way to return, and it will return again. Yes, the world may face difficult moments. Yes, tensions between nations may rise. Yes, there may be times when headlines make people feel afraid. But fear does not control the future. Faith does. My child, the coming years will reveal the true strength of people's hearts. Some will panic. Some will lose hope. Some will allow anger and division to take over their lives. But others will rise with courage, compassion, and faith. And those people will become lights in the darkness. They will remind the world that peace is still possible. They will remind others that love is stronger than hatred. And they will remind humanity that faith still has power. America, you stand at a moment where your choices matter greatly. The world is watching your actions. The world is listening to your voice. And the direction your nation takes can influence millions of lives. That is why I say this with both warning and hope. Do not allow pride to lead you. Do not allow anger to guide decisions. Do not allow the hunger for power to become more important than the value of human life. Because when nations choose humility, wisdom, and compassion, history can change for the better. My child, many people think the future is already written. They believe events must happen exactly as people predict. But they forget something important. Human choices still matter. Prayer still matters. Faith still matters. And when enough people turn their hearts toward truth and peace, the direction of events can change in ways that surprise the world. That is why I'm calling people back to something simple but powerful. Return to faith. Return to prayer. Return to kindness. Because the world does not need more hatred. The world needs people who are willing to bring light into dark places. And that light begins inside each heart. My child, if this message touched your heart today, it is not a coincidence. Perhaps you were meant to hear these words. Perhaps you were meant to remember that your faith has power.
My child, many people watch these messages, but they don't subscribe. Please subscribe and turn on the bell.
And perhaps you were meant to share hope with others who feel afraid right now. Because one voice of faith can inspire another, and another, and another, until millions begin to remember what truly matters. So before this message ends, I want to ask you something. Do not simply watch and move on. If you believe the world needs more faith right now, take a moment and do something powerful. Leave a comment saying, "I choose faith over fear." Because every time someone writes those words, it becomes a reminder that hope is still alive. And if this message spoke to your heart, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. Because more messages of faith, hope, and truth are coming. Messages meant to guide, strengthen, and encourage you in uncertain times. My child, remember this always. No matter what happens in the world, no matter what news you hear, no matter how dark things may seem, you are never alone. Faith is still alive. Hope is still rising. And light will always be stronger than darkness. Peace be with you. My child, listen carefully. The world is changing faster than many people realize. Nations are rising in tension, leaders are speaking about war, and the Middle East once again stands at the center of global attention. Many people believe these events are only political, but there is something deeper happening that many hearts cannot yet see. Fear is spreading across the world. Families are watching the news, wondering what the future may bring. Questions are rising in millions of minds. Could a larger conflict come? Could the world face another great crisis? My child, I want you to understand something important. Even when the world feels uncertain, you are not alone. Throughout history, humanity has faced dark moments before. Wars have risen, nations have struggled, but faith has always been a light in the darkness. And that light still exists today. America, listen carefully. You have been given great influence in the world. Your choices matter. Your leaders' decisions matter. And the direction you take can affect millions of lives across the earth. That is why this moment is so important. Because the future is not shaped only by power and politics. It is shaped by the hearts of people. If hearts are filled with anger, conflict grows stronger. But if hearts choose wisdom, humility, and faith, peace becomes possible. My child, do not let fear control your spirit. Instead, pray for peace. Pray for wisdom. Pray for leaders who will choose life instead of destruction. Because every sincere prayer carries power far beyond what human eyes can see. And remember this truth. Even when the world feels dark, faith can still change the direction of history.
Child, before you go, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, turn on the bell icon, and comment if you believe I am guiding your life. May blessings follow you today.